Hello, and in today's video we are doing Premier League predictions for match week number 22 of the 2021 to 22 season. And we've got a little bit of a catch up to do really. Since I last saw you, I did predict match week 21, but there's been a few games that have been mixed about basically. So look, fair enough. We had Leeds Burnley, that was played. It was also Leeds Villa that was postponed, I think, the previous week. We had also the games between Watford and Wolves were postponed. Liverpool and Leeds, Burnley and Everton. It was crazy. It was loads and loads of games getting postponed, and you just kind of think, what can you do about that? Because obviously it's not ideal for the Predictions League. If I'm honest, right, the Predictions League's gone out the window a little bit. It might just have to park it for this season. If you want to go back and calculate it, you go and do it. I'm just not going to have the time, I'll be honest. I think it's more about predicting the games in front of us. That's all we can do. And it's not going to be worth going back and just... We'll look at it each week, right? Who's scoring the most points in that game week? But looking at total or overall points is just too much. Can he be doing it, man? So, yeah, that's what we're going for. And obviously, yeah, there was... Burnley Everton called off, which is not ideal really, is it? But it is what it is. Obviously safety comes first, and we also had postponements between Arsenal and Wolves as well, but also rearrangements. So we weren't expecting in week 21 to have West Ham Norwich, Southampton Brentford, but we did. It was supposed to be Everton Leicester in that week as well. It's all over the place basically. Everton Leicester was supposed to be back in week 20, I think. And that got postponed, and then it got rearranged to week 21. Then it got postponed again because because Leicester couldn't field 13 outfield players because of COVID, AFCON, and injuries. And then obviously we had which other one was it? Everton Newcastle in game week 20. That was postponed. So yeah, Everton have had quite a few games postponed, as have Newcastle, to be fair, because Southampton v Newcastle got postponed as well. Absolute madness, absolute madness. So we're going to do what we can. We admit that it's a bit of a mess right now, but, you know, what do we do? Ultimately, like, Leicester Norwich was postponed in week 21 as well. What can you do? We're just going to go from this week. We're just going to forget these postponements. Like, obviously, I'll predict it when it happens, but I've just, at this point, got to predict what's in front of me. So, kind of reset the button and let's start from this week. Let's start fresh. Match week 22. Let's do this. Obviously, I would have not liked to predict the two games in midweek, but didn't have the time for that, so couldn't get round to predicting the Southampton Brentford game or the West Ham Norwich game. I could even do it right now because it's 7:13 at the time of recording, but you know, I'm sure by the time this comes out, you will have accused me of cheating. And look, I'll say it's 3-0 to West Ham, but it probably will be, and then you'll be like, oh, you've just looked at the score. But honestly, it's 7:13. Anyway, enough about my predictions, you know, hoodoo, my amazing... When I say hoodoo, I mean magic, my black magic, that I can predict any team and get it right. No, I'm joking. If I was that good, then I'd be doing a lot better in this season's predictions. But anyway... Week by week basis, let's look at it, and there's some tasty fixtures. In fact, there's quite a lot of fixtures for match week number 22. Not just 10, but 14 matches. Juicy stuff. So, what are we going to start with first? It's a difficult one. It's a toss-up between Man City, Chelsea, and the North London derby, of course, Spurs facing the Gunners. I'm going to go for just a roll of the rubber. Instead of a roll of the coin, we're going for a roll of a rubber. So here it says, on this rubber. I don't know why it says it, but it just does, okay? It says, banter. So, not being funny, Arsenal, but bit of a banter club at the minute after going out to Nottingham Forest. So, if it goes on the banter side, that's Spurs v Arsenal being talked about first. If it goes on the plain side, as follows, then we're talking about the City game. Let's do this. Right, that was a terrible roll. The whole point of having it on my hand was so you could see it. Right. No, it's pretty hard to spin and land on your hand. So we're gonna go the right side up. Here we go. It's going to be a random way round. Let's roll it. Here we go. Oh, would you look at that? It was, if you saw it in time, can you see that? Yeah, it was blank. I can tell you, it was blank. If it wasn't, who cares? Doesn't make a difference. Anyway, it was blank. So we're doing City v Chelsea first at Etihad Stadium. Now, I don't know what it is about this game, but I honestly feel this is a crunch match. Not just because, look, Chelsea need to get their record against the big teams better. I know they did get a draw v Liverpool, but, you know, away from home, Chelsea haven't been winning against the big teams. However, the argument is here, if Chelsea lose this game, effectively, they're out of the title race. If City win it, an 11th win in a row, then you just think, what is the point? Like, I might as well just say hello to game week 1 of the 2022-23 season and then start thinking, oh, this might be a competitive title race. Because City are actually a freak of nature at this point, right? 11 wins if they win this game. And look, Chelsea, they have done well against City in the past under Thomas Tuchel. They got a lot of 1-0 wins in the Champions League, in the FA Cup final, in the EFL Cup. It's been mad, the amount of games. But I don't think actually it was the FA Cup. I might be getting that wrong. But ultimately, right? No, it was FA Cup. I'm sure it was. I feel like it was. Ultimately, they know how to win. But also Chelsea aren't looking great at the minute. The last two meetings, though, obviously a 1-0 win to Manchester City and a 2-1 to Chelsea at the Etihad with a goal from Marcos Alonso getting the victory. So, yeah, I do think this is an interesting one. Between the teams, they've played 49 times in the Premier League. So head-to-head, 15 wins for the Citizens, 7 draws and 27 wins for the Blues. I'm going to go for more Blues for Chelsea. I hate to say it. The romantic in me says a Man City defeat because that would really open it up. But City are unstoppable. Money doesn't buy happiness in most cases, but it does for this Man City team. I mean, it's amazing. Like, it's absolutely amazing. Sheikh Mansour was an absolute gold dust for City. So, I'm going to go for a little bit of a 2-1 victory to Man City. If Chelsea can't sort this game out, then their title race is over. But I think Chelsea just needs to try and be on the front foot because they really weren't that in the game in the reverse fixture. They did sit back. They got their goal, Manchester City, through Gabriel Jesus. And then they decided Chelsea to have a go at it. And it was too late. So they need to get up to Lukaku, use his strength, actually get the ball into him, let him dominate those City defenders and give Diaz and Laporte a torrid time. And then we can see Chelsea getting something from this game and stopping the Manchester City train that is Man City right now. But yeah, 2-1 to City. Goal scorers here. I think Joao Cancelo will keep up his amazing form with a goal in this one. A second goal for Manchester City. I'm going to say Kevin De Bruyne, the Belgian. It's always a Belgian. But then Chelsea, unfortunately, don't show the competitive nature. They do get a goal back, though. As a consolation, it's a goal for Chelsea from Antonio Rudiger. Right, let's move on then, shall we, to the next one. It is, of course, Arsenal away to Tottenham Hotspur at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And this is a massive North London derby. Let's not beat around the bush because ultimately, right, these two teams, they need to get more results, right? Arsenal, look, they were pretty good in the league up to a point. Then they went on this weird run where they were just kind of not really scoring enough goals and getting wins, but getting the job done. A bit like Manchester United are doing right now under Ralf Rangnick. But then they went on this really weird run that they were just unstoppable, right? They did absolute bits against Leeds. They did bits against Norwich. And then they were just unfortunate against Man City, I thought, because ultimately they actually played really well, pressing onto City, looking attacking, but they were absolutely robbed of a point. Not robbed in the sense of they didn't deserve to lose, because what I will go on to say means they did, but individuals just letting the side down, making mistakes, and ultimately that was just reckless from Granit Xhaka, stupid from the centre-back Gabriel. Why he's arguing about that one, he's got no room to argue because it was just brainless. And yeah, defending the set piece at the end, Rodri, you can't give him that time. And the celebration was unfortunate, obviously rubbing salt in the wounds for the Gunners because, you know, he celebrated the wrong side. He thought the City away fans were in that corner, but then he realised actually it was in the other corner. It's too late by then, too late. He'd done the knee slide in front of the Arsenal fans. Pretty unfortunate. But Bukayo Saka, if I can get the words out, is absolute star boy. What a legend. He is in great form for his team. But is that enough? Is that enough to get a win in the North London derby when, to be fair, he's not got them playing world-class football, but he's steadied the ship, Antonio Conte, at Tottenham. And although Son is now out injured, they've still got Harry Kane and Lucas Moura and possibly Bergwijn. But ultimately, they need to be getting more clean sheets. I know recently they've been improved, but they still have that frailty. So I will be very fascinated to see if this is a high-scoring game. But I think between Arsenal and Tottenham, that classic rivalry, we shall see a very exciting one. Games played between the two, 59 played, 22 wins for Arsenal, 23 draws and 14 wins for Tottenham. So, you know, the Gunners will fancy their chances, but I fancy Spurs. After that poor performance for them against Forest, I think, although a lot of the players won't play, and look, they'll probably want to focus on the league, that was worrying for me. And Spurs, when Kane is on form, can be unbelievable. 2-0 to Tottenham. Goal scorers, I think that the first one will be Harry Kane. And then the second goal for Tottenham Hotspur, I'm going to go for a forgotten man, Dele Alli. Now, moving on to the next game. It is, of course, the one between Newcastle and Watford. A 6-pointer. Had to talk about this one. Third on the list. Because this, my friends, is where our season starts. 3 games, at least 7 points need to be got from these 3 games. And that's Newcastle, Burnley, Norwich. You're not going to get any better opportunity of 4 wins, 3 clean sheets, 3 points in each game. That is the best chance of getting all of those because it's the bottom 3 currently. And I know what you'll say, Newcastle, they're probably not going to be in the bottom 3 by the end of the season because they've got money and they can buy their way out of the situation with players. But the ultimately thing is, do anyone want to go to Newcastle? Chris Wood, good signing, right? I rate that. But is he better than Callum Wilson? I know Wilson's out injured and that's why they did it, but I think it's a downgrade, in my opinion. That's just me. Trippier, good signing, but how quickly will he bed in? Didn't look good against Cambridge. I mean, I don't think anyone from Newcastle perspective looked good against Cambridge, but ultimately it is a bit embarrassing to lose to that kind of level. However, then you look at Burnley and you say, oh, well, every season they stay up. Well, you say that. This season could be different. This could be the season they really do slog it out because they have been poor. They've won 1 game all season and I don't even know who that game is against. Whoever lost that game has got to be feeling pretty gutted, right? But this is a 6-pointer for Watford for sure at the St James's Park Stadium. And of course, we don't even need to talk about Norwich because they're down and out, the yo-yo team. However, we are clinging on to the fact that we've still got Dennis, we've still got Sarr, we've still got King, we've got goals across that front 3. I respect that Dennis is maybe carrying a slight knock, but he might be alright. Josh King hasn't been scoring goals and goals, but he's been playing well and deserving more. And I think that it will only be a matter of time between those goals coming. And also, Ismaila Sarr, obviously we know he's had a lot of controversy with Senegal in terms of the fact that he was chosen for Senegal to go to AFCON. But then, for some reason, Senegal think they can assess him and they think that he'll just go over to Senegal and they'll get a game or 2 out of him. Look, his injury is not that easy to sort out. It's not in that stage of progressing. And they thought they'd just assess him themselves. That didn't work. And he's now gone off to Spain to get his recovery time. And then maybe Senegal will still get him back from Spain and see if he's ready for them. So it's all a mess, really. And it's a bit frustrating when you think, why does he not just stay at Watford, give time to recover. Forget this AFCON thing. It's just not looking likely. So anyway, that's the situation. But in terms of the second half of the season, those are some goals in the team for sure. As well as the fact we've got good leaders in midfield. Cleverly, Sissoko. These are the kind of players that can grab the ball by the horns in a relegation battle and steer us, hopefully. We've never been in the bottom three this season. Of course, touch wood, I've now jinxed us. We're going to be straight in there after these 3 games. But no, hopefully not. This is our best chance of winning. And it is Newcastle who, look, they have done it before against us and won when especially we've been in form. And I've said this in the past, like we've had a run of 3 games before and we've messed it up. Even 3 favourable games, because it was last time we were in the Prem. We had Villa, Everton, Brighton. We didn't win any of them. And we scored an own goal, bottling a win against Brighton. Then we absolutely bottled it against Everton, 2-0 up. And then by 2-2 it was half-time. We lost 3-2. And then, of course, Villa, we know what happened there. Disgusting to lose that game in the last minute of the match. And a jammy goal from a player that shouldn't have been on the pitch, Tyrone Mings. I'm not going to complain about it now. But anyway, the point is, this is the time. Our time is now. Come on, let's start it with a win. I will take a point if we get wins against Burnley and Norwich. I'll take a point against Newcastle because they've got a bit of fight about them, right? Burnley, they've got fight as well and they can score from set pieces, but they've just sold Chris Wood. So surely, I don't know, it's a difficult one. But also with Norwich, if we can't win that, then our season's pretty much over. We did get them victory in the reverse fixture, but that was back when we had Sarr, so who knows. Anyway, the point is, I'm getting very, digressed here. But anyway, Dennis, he's the menace. Is he back? Let's see. If he is, you back him to get points. You don't back us to get a clean sheet these days. We've still not done it all season. Whereas Newcastle, they at least did it against Burnley. But, it's a big, big game. The 3 teams, let's get ready to rumble. Can we get a clean sheet? Finally. I don't know. But, basement battle, 6-pointer. I'm saying a Watford win. Of course I am. Let's not mess about. Newcastle will score, though. I hate to say it. They are both teams that can't defend, Newcastle and Watford. 1-1 is a very pessimistic prediction because, look, I said I'd take a point, but I need a win. Like, we haven't won since Manchester United. That feels like an absolute age ago. So, I'm saying it. I'm saying it. Newcastle 1, Watford 2. Come on. Let's go. Goal scorers. Dennis to score first because Dennis the menace at the end of the day. If he's not fit, then probably be a bit of Joshua King, won't it? But then the equaliser for Newcastle. I don't think Chris Wood will be back in time. I doubt it because either it will take too long to process. I know he's got pretty much confirmed now, but I don't think it's going to be in time. And also he's currently got a knock, I think, or at least he did at Burnley. I doubt he'll be straight in there. They'll probably play Joelinton, but surely instead it will be a goal from Newcastle by Alain Saint-Maximin. How he didn't score in that game in the reverse fixture against Watford, I honestly don't know. Because, he should have shot and didn't. He passed to Longstaff. He should have scored. He didn't. Obviously did score earlier on in the game. But look, Saint-Maximin, it's impossible to stop him right now. So, second goal for Watford though. The man of the moment. The man we have been absolutely loving recently. João Pedro. He did it against United. I think he'll do it against Newcastle. Now, let's move on to the match between Palace and Brighton. Yay! The derby that isn't. Well, it is a derby, but it really shouldn't be, should it? There's no reason for it to be a derby. These 2 teams obviously do play good football, both of them, to be fair. So, could expect an absolute rip-roarer of a game. I don't know why my thing's been so slow today, but anyway, it is what it is. Palace 1, Brighton 1. I don't think with Palace, with Zaha at AFCON, I think they will still score goals, but not as many as they would want to get the result. However, he's looked absolutely world class recently. That is Michael Olise. What a player. He's going to score. Then Brighton get their goal through a little bit of Cucurella. He's never scored for Brighton. The defender from the La Liga in the summer. I think it was playing for Villarreal or someone like that. He looks a baller, I'll be honest. Now, moving on. It's a game between the likes of Burnley and Leicester. Now, one thing screams out to me in this game, and that is set-piece goals. Set-piece goals. Honestly, Burnley, they haven't been doing well, but if there is one way they can get out of this mess, it's set pieces. And there's one thing that puts Leicester into mess, it's set pieces. We've seen it time and time again. Rodgers can't seem to stamp it out. He just honestly doesn't know what to do, because that defence has been littered by injuries, but they still need to get better players in the window. So I don't know. I think Burnley might have a chance here, but for Watford's sake, we've just got to see these teams dropping points. So I'll say a Leicester win, just because they can score goals on their day. And I think Maddison will carry on his absolutely superb form for the Foxes. Fantastic Mr. Fox. It is Maddie. So Burnley 1, Leicester 3. Maddison to score a trademark free kick to open the scoring. Then Burnley equalise through, well, it's not Chris Wood. It's not Cornet. Who could it possibly be? Matty Vidra. What a legend. He's done it v Leicester before, of course. And then the goals to round off for Leicester. Another from James Maddison. And the final goal, I'm going to go for a little bit of Patson Daka. If he's not fit and available, which I think he should be, then it's a cheeky little goal for Leicester from, let's say, Soyuncu. Yeah, probably won't happen. But moving on to this next game, West Ham v Leeds. This is an interesting one. A dress rehearsal was already played last week in the FA Cup at the London Stadium, and it's an FA Cup rematch. Interesting stuff. Now, injuries for Bielsa's men. You got to feel for them. Bamford, he was apparently fit for the FA Cup game, and then he's put his injury back even further. You got to feel for the lad at this point. But West Ham, they have been brilliant. They did get the win against Leeds in the FA Cup 2-0. Hammers have been so good at home, you've got to say. And other than that blip against Southampton, they've been scoring goals. Antonio is back to his best. Bowen is back to his best. And even though their defence has been a bit up and down, I think they'll keep a clean sheet here. Goals from Bowen and Antonio. You know the score. But now it is a game between the likes of Manchester United and Villa. Yes, it's another FA Cup rematch. What are the chances? But this one is actually at the Villa Park Stadium. Of course, United did lose this game in the reverse fixture with a goal from Courtney Hawes. Who'd have thought it? But Ronaldo was wanting to take the penalty, didn't get the opportunity. Fernandes blazing it over the crossbar. What was he doing? But anyway, this is a game for Manchester United to surely return to scoring goals, but they just can't seem to score more than 1 or 2 at the minute. Now, obviously, the result against Wolves was a positive one wait, what am I even on about? Sorry, against Villa was a positive one. Against Wolves, United were awful, right? And Wolves dominated that game. They fully deserved the win. Ronaldo was quiet. He didn't play, actually, against Villa, so he might have done something there. I think he will do something here, because although he's got an injury, I think he'll recover. If he doesn't, then they'll probably just throw him on half injured, because United have got no one else, right? So I think United will score first. It'll be going to be Marcus Rashford. Then Manchester United getting a second through Ronaldo. But Villa get back a goal. And I don't think Coutinho is going to straight away score. Instead, it's going to be a man who actually has done it before against Manchester United. Now you're thinking, who could that possibly be? It's not Jack Grealish, because he's left. Well, you guessed it. You wouldn't have predicted it, but you've guessed it now. It's going to be a little bit of... Drum roll, please. I don't even know who it is. Haha. No, it's not Courtney Hawes. Instead, it's going to be... Trolled. It's Philippe Coutinho. I'm not messing about. He's going to score, but it won't be enough. It will be a 2-1 win to Manchester United. Now, that was a big, big suspense, and Who'd have thought it? But anyway, moving on. We will speed through these now. Liverpool-Brentford. Now, Liverpool, I think it's a cut and dry win for them because it's Liverpool at the end of the day. Now, I think their game will go ahead. They did have enough players to play against that FA Cup fodder. Unfortunately, I have to say it, Shrewsbury, they were going up and winning that game, but then 4-1, flat on your face, unfortunate stuff. Liverpool, though, I'm going to win this game. I think they're going to win this game for sure. Liverpool 2, Brentford 1. Tight one, though. Tight one. Brentford do give a good account of themselves, like the 3-3 draw at the Brentford Community Stadium. Johan Wieser was the man of the moment in that game, but instead, I think a man who's got a hat-trick and is going to be confident, it's Brian Mbeumo to score first for the Bees. Then Liverpool get their goals, not through Mo Salah, of course. He's at AFCON, so it's going to be an outsider's choice. It's going to be Roberto Firmino, who did an absolutely delicious back heel in the game against Shrewsbury. But the second goal for Liverpool is going to be a bit of Trent Alexander-Arnold, who has been confirmed back fit after being positive for COVID-19. So, another 2-1 win. I like those, but I think that's the most likely results. So, moving on, we have got Norwich v Everton. Norwich v Everton. Now, if Everton can't beat Norwich, who can you beat, right? Rafa hasn't got them playing the best of football, and that was clear to see, I think, in the game against whoever it was, Brighton. Yeah, not ideal stuff, really. And then they also get their game against Leicester postponed, so you got to feel for them at this point. But Calvert-Lewin's back fit. It will take a few games to get going, I think, but he's still a good striker on his day. He's been unlucky with injury, for sure. And Everton, look, they can't seem to keep a clean sheet, even against teams like Norwich. I just don't even see them doing it, because Norwich have got to fight for their lives, and they've got to go for this game. So I think there's going to be a very poor performance from Everton, but just find a way of getting the win. And both teams defensively leaky. I'm going to say a thriller. Norwich 2, Everton 3. And again, Norwich probably deserve to win. Everton will get the 3 points. Sargent will score first for the Canaries. Then Everton equalise with a cheeky little goal from in midfield. It is Andre Gomez. And then the second goal for Everton, I'm going to go for a little bit of Alex. No, I'm not joking. I'm joking. I know he's at AFCON at Iwobi. Then I'll say for the second Everton goal, it's going to be a little bit of... Who is there? Who is there? Demarai Gray, I guess. But I don't even know about that. I'm not even sure. He could get sent off. No, actually, instead of the Everton goal, we're going to go for a little bit of Coleman. Who'd have thought it? That's 2-1. Then 2-2. Tough one, I've got to say. But it's not going to be Pukki, actually. It's going to be Zolis. Zolis is a player they signed, I know, from a Greek club. He is their record transfer, so surely he's got to pay that back soon. And then the final goal for Everton, it's another one. It's a tough one, but it's an own goal for Norwich. You've got to feel for the lads who are most certainly going down. That's at least another thing for Watford to not worry about. And the own goal for the Canaries is going to be the unfortunate Grant Hanley. Now, moving on, we've got Wolves Southampton, and a once-in-a-generation win for Wolves at United. You've got to applaud it. Stubborn defence that Bruno Lage puts out, but also good individuals in their attack. João Moutinho, what a classy player. Portuguese baller. Beautiful. But will he win this game, Bruno Lage? I think so, because Southampton defensively have been quite up and down. They were good against Brentford, to be fair to them. Che Adams doing well. Got to say, though, Armando Broja has been fantastic for them. And Bednarek's on a bit of a scoring run, but who knows with that one. And, of course, Ward-Prowse. He keeps on delivering. So, I'm going to say that another cheeky little Ward-Prowse assist will be scored by Southampton's Armando Broja. But, this time, Southampton will not do enough to win. They'll go ahead, and then they'll lose 3-1 to Wolves. Now, after that Broja goal, goals will fall for Wolves from a little bit of Raul Jimenez. Then another goal for Wolves will come from their defender, Matt Kilman. And then the third goal for Wolverhampton Wanderers is going to be Ruben Semedo. Now, It's a match between Burnley and Watford because, yes, we've got into the midweek matches. The midweek fun is upon us. So, what are we saying for this one? I honestly think this will be a big Watford win. I'm not being funny. I like to be confident. I wasn't too confident about Newcastle. I said a 2-1 win, but I'm saying a 2-0 win. And I know that's not amazing, but it's a clean sheet. Imagine the scenes. It would be amazing. But the goals for this one, I think the first one actually will be a little bit of Joshua King again. But then the second one, it's about time a midfielder chipped in for some Watford goals. The defence, I get, is a lost cause right now, so forget about them. Instead, a goal for Watford will be scored by a little bit of Tom Cleverley. He runs everywhere. He's a legend. So those are the goals for the Hornets in that victory. Brighton-Chelsea. Now, this is where I feel like Brighton could really do well. Because against the big teams, they seem to impress. They were good against Chelsea in the reverse fixture. Danny Welbeck rolling back the years. But I think Chelsea will actually win this time. However, don't be surprised to see a Brighton draw. Brighton 1, Chelsea 2. It's that classic score again, but it's going to happen. I'm telling you. First of all, Brighton's going to score through Leandro Trossard. Then Chelsea get their goal through Mason Mount. The second, though, for Chelsea, is not going to be a man you'd expect. Well, maybe you would. Marcos Alonso. He's probably going to be on his last legs because they might get a new left back with Chilwell out. Leicester Spurs. Now, this is interesting. This has been rearranged before, but obviously it didn't get played, unfortunately. So yeah, Leicester Spurs. This could be a game that doesn't go ahead if Leicester still can't play matches, just as with the Burnley game. But look, I think that this will go ahead. I think just about Tottenham will win, but Leicester will really run them close. Leicester City 2, Spurs 3. First of all, Moura, then Son. Oh, sorry. I was only joking. I meant Maddison, not Son. So 1-1 there. And then the second goal for Leicester is going to be... Oh yes, Tielemans, 2-1 Leicester. And then the second goal for Spurs is going to be a defender, Reguilon. And then the third goal for Spurs is going to be a penalty from yours truly, Harry Kane. Now, Brentford United, final game of this match week. I know it's been a long one, but it's been a good one. You know it. Brentford United is going to be a Brentford defeat, I think. Only just, though. Just a bit like the Chelsea game. They're going to lose 1-0. And it's going to be a goal from a fullback. Who'd have thought it? This time, though, it's going to be Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, of all people, to get the second... the first. The only. Right. That's my predictions done. Sorry it took so long, but, you know, it's a big week. It's a big week of action. I will get my predictions to you for match week 23. Probably shouldn't be able to... I probably won't skip that one, unlike previous games. I think we will get that out by maybe Thursday of the 20th, perhaps. We'll see how we go. But that should be what we aim for. And, yeah, do get your score predictions down below. I know the kind of predictions league's gone out the window, but just give it a like for me, you know, still pursuing with these predictions. It's a lot of games, a lot of predictions that could go wrong or could go spot on. But that's every game covered here on the Roberto the Hornet channel. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.